Welcome to We Scale Creators Podcast, Episode 1. First time I've ever done a podcast. Nate, you've done a couple of them.
Done a lot of them. Done a lot of podcasts. It's been a while, though.
Well, I'm a content beginner, but in today's video, we're going to talk about how we went from zero to about $7.4 million in 1 year with our agency, We Scale Creators. Little fireside chat, friendly chat, talking about lessons we learned. We're not gurus. We're not here to tell you what to do. We're documenting what has worked for us and how we were able to literally go from zero to almost an 8-figure business in 1 year.
In 1 year, it's pretty crazy. And what's crazier about it is there's so many lessons and things that we learned this year that not only are going to pave the way for what we're going to do in 2026, but we also want to share those with everyone listening to this. Because if we had known these things in hindsight, I mean, we might have done 10 million. We might have done 12 this year had we known some of these things. So hopefully can allow us to share what's worked for us and what lessons we've learned, and maybe it helps you guys out as well.
So how do we want to kick this off? Go into the model, what we do different?
Yeah, let's just tell people about what We Scale Creators even is for those of them who don't know. And if they don't know, they should know, and they're about to know. But for those who don't, let's just explain what we even do.
Yeah, so to me, it's like there's so many agencies out there, right? And one of the core principles of marketing is differentiation, right? Differentiating yourself. And in the agency space, it's pretty difficult to differentiate yourself, right? I mean, every agency does the same thing. They charge retainers. They use the client's ad spend. They take essentially zero risk. Most of them aren't even, they're not full service. They focus on either advertising or, let's say, funnel building. And one of the things that I've seen and I've been in this industry for a long time, right? Probably like 10 to 15 years. One of the things that I see with agencies, it's almost luck of the draw who you're getting. Like, are you getting a good copywriter? Are you getting a good media buyer? Or are you getting one of the newer ones on the team? And it's like, you're a client, right? You're not necessarily a partner. You're, in a way, and this isn't applied to all agencies, obviously, but in a lot of agencies, you're just MRR to them. You're not necessarily partnered with them. And that's where, you and I essentially went a different route with We Scale Creators.
Yeah, and as someone who's run those kind of like big box style agencies where you have a team of this role, a team of writers, you have a team of designers, you have a team of project managers, client success, whatever. And it's just like, and I know from the back end is like, it's really just new client comes in, we go through onboarding, then we get their roadmap, then we just get the base number of deliverables done every month, because guess what? We're going to get paid the same amount either way, whether we go and launch, 500 ads in a month or 5 ads a week for the entire month. Like, the retainer is still going to hit as long as we keep the client. And I think that creates a negative ecosystem for both the agency because of a lot of the risks that they have with that model, which we'll probably dive into, and also for the client too, like Patrick was saying. I mean, they win and the agency win completely separately. And when you align those two and you incentivize everyone to achieve the same goal, which at the end of the day is to make a lot of money. I mean, that's what the client's there for, and that's what the agency should be there for. You get a lot more success. And that's what we've done very well with our publishing model. And it's part of the reason why we're able to keep clients as long as we can and continue to move the envelope and push the needle months and months and months and months into working with them, is because of the way that we have the agreement set up. It's like a relationship. It's not just, a client who pays a Stripe invoice every month. Like, we know these people on a deep level. We know their offer. And when they win, we win. And when we win, they win.
Yeah. So let's dive into it. How do we get from 0 to 7.7 mil? Well, first of all, we kind of flipped the agency model on its head, right? So we don't charge retainers. We don't use the client's ad spend. We essentially take on all of the risk. We do full service marketing, full service advertising. We invest between 5 to 10K a day on average of our own capital into our partners' businesses. So the way our model works is it's essentially fully profit share, right? We take on all of the risk, which also means, we fly out to you, we script everything, we record everything, we edit everything, we build the funnel, we write the copy, we run the ads, we create the upsell flow, downsell flow, emails, ascension flow, manage customer support, everything kind of top to bottom, right? We're taking on all the risk. We're building our own funnel and our own ads from scratch. And, at the end of the day, in addition to that, it's like for the client now, there's zero risk, there's zero loss. They can still run their own offers. If they're running ads on the side, or even if they're working with other agencies, that's completely fine. But with us, essentially, we scale them, and there's only upside. There's literally only upside on the partner's end.
And the way that it works is the way that we think about it and that we have our partners think about it. It's like, this is another income stream for you. Like all of our clients that we work with now, our partners that we work with now, before, during, and after them working with us, like they're still going to be making money from other things. Most of these people, hence the name of our company, are creators. They have brands, they have a following, like they're doing brand deals, they have other offers, maybe they have a community, like whatever. They're making their money doing whatever they're doing. What we want to do is come in and kind of open their eyes to what they might be missing. And a lot of the times, especially, these creators, they're leaving so much money on the table because they don't understand paid ads. They don't understand direct response. They don't understand marketing. They don't understand funnels. And if they just had someone on their team who understood it and also wasn't going to take advantage of them, like a lot of these creators have horror stories of people coming in and say, yo, pay me $20,000 a month and I'll run your ads. And they get like no results. If they have someone who can come in and be like, yo, we want to grow your business. We want to pay you 50, 100, 150, 200,000 a month net, and we'll handle everything. And you never have to pay us. It's like that in and of itself starts the relationship off on the right foot. Because we sign that client, we go and do 1 to 2 months worth of work without ever seeing a dime from them. And that unconsciously shows the client like, hey, we're our skin's in the game just as much as theirs is.
Yeah, 100%. And then when you look at it from our side too, it's like, well, for the partner side, there's zero risk, there's zero loss, there's only upside. They're still making money at other places. We're not touching any of that other money. We're only essentially, on a profit share model from the entry point of the funnel that we built and the ads that we run, right? And then for us, it's like obviously, tying back in, how do we go from 0 to 7.7 million in a year, or 7.4 million? It'd probably end up being around that, but for us, it's like significantly higher margins than traditional agencies. Number one, because we have true alignment in incentives, right? We're partners. So including our team, like when I mentioned earlier, like it's luck of the draw. Maybe you get a good copywriter. Maybe you get a bad copywriter. I've worked with a lot of agencies. Some of them have really, really terrible copywriters and terrible media buyers. And they have some good ones too, but you got to get lucky. Well, for us, it's like every single one of and we'll dive into this a little bit later on. It's like every single one of our team members is incentivized via profit share as well to grow each of the partners' offers. And now you're getting the absolute best of the best people that are focused on actually growing your offer. Everybody's incentivized. We're incentivized to help you grow. Our team is incentivized to help you grow. And for us, it also gives us a lot more control over growth, right? When we're able to spend all of our own money on paid ads, and we're able to actually launch a new split test every single week across every funnel page, and we're able to dial in the emails and optimize everything in the ascension flow, launch new funnels, it allows us to grow the partner's business so much faster. I think every single partner we've taken on, we've taken from 0 to $300,000 a month in the first typically 90 days. And it's every single one of them. And we'll dive into a little bit more on how we do that. But I just wanted to, I think it's really important to understand, first of all, why it's better on the agency's end, and then also why is it better on the partner's end for them to have zero risk, et cetera, et cetera.
What else is great about us too, from the standpoint of the agency, is like Patrick said, our margins are significantly high. Like most agencies, they got to go and get 100 clients or more to make 100,000 a month profit or 200,000 a month profit, whatever the number is. They're playing the volume game. Whereas for us, it's like the analogy is like any team. Like think about any team. Think about any sports team. Like everyone who's on the field is trying to win the game. At least they should be trying to win the game. Like that's what they're there for. They're there to play their role in helping the team win a game. And football, whether it's you're a kicker or the quarterback, like it doesn't matter. You're there to do a role and help the team itself win the game. Whereas a lot of agencies and clients who work with traditional agencies, their incentives aren't aligned. They're not truly playing on the same team. And with us, we literally and figuratively are on the same team as our clients, because for them to win, we got to win. And for us to win, we got to make their offer win. So that's one thing that I think sets us apart in the agency landscape. And it's really just like the first principle of relationships. It's like you got to be in it for the same thing. And with the model that we have set up here, we're in it for the same thing. And, when we talk about the 7.4 million that we did in 2025, I mean, our partners made a lot of money of that 7.4 million.
Yeah, I think it's good for us to dive into how we actually make the money. I mean, the model itself is pretty simple, but it's like, how do we actually make the money for every single one of these partners now? And the main skill set really is just cold traffic acquisition, right? I truly believe if you know how to make offers convert on cold traffic, you'll never have issues making money ever, right? Essentially, if you can master paid ads to a well optimized funnel, you can go from 0 to 6 figures a month in literally 1 month. I mean, we do it on every single offer. It allows you, that's one skill set, allows you to start making money immediately. You can literally go from having no money. I mean, you're going to have some money to spend on ads, but figuratively, like you could literally go from 0 to 6 figures a month with a brand new offer in 1 month. And it also gives you complete control over acquisition, right? Like if I can never have to worry about acquiring customers and I have a system that brings me customers every single day on, repeat, it's like, it's the greatest skill set you could possibly have.
And that I think the way you phrase that, Pat, is key. Like it is truly a system. And I was thinking about this the other day. It's like, yes, there's some months that are better than others, and yes, there's some months that are worse than others. Like right now, it's December of a time that we're filming this in 2025, and we're absolutely ripping for all
about $1 million month.
Yeah, we're about to have $1 million month this month, so we're ripping. But like we know that at the end of November, when it comes December 1st, it's not like we're starting from scratch every single month. And again, that's for us as a business. Like it's not like, okay, hopefully the client's card doesn't fail this month, or they are late on paying their invoice, or they churn, God forbid, and we lose 10 to 30% of our revenue because they churned at the end of the year. Like none of those things are an issue for us. We know that we're going to carry that momentum that we had from the end of November straight into the next month, because it truly is like a cash system. It is a system that we've set up for all of our partners and our business as a whole that just prints cash and profit every single month. So that's, I think, one of the biggest competitive edges that we have in the space is like the system in which we deploy for all of these partners.
Yeah, because to take it one step further, it's like cold traffic acquisition, pretty broad, whatever. What we really specialize in is low ticket ascension funnels. And the reason we do that, and we do this across every single partner, is we're essentially able to self-liquidate, right? So what we found for almost every market, it's pretty similar, at least on the meta ad side, is we can typically liquidate about 100% of ad spend until about $3,000 a day in spend, right? Once you cross about 3K a day, you get to about 4 or 5K plus a day. Liquidation goes down, I'd say, to about 60 to 80%, give or take, on the offer, on the market, the credibility and positioning of the person that we're publishing. But it allows us, if we're spending 10K a day, we're bringing back, let's say, $6,000 to $8,000 a day. And, once you're able to do that, you're able to make all of the money on the back end because you're getting paid or, close to recouping all your money on your ads alone. So you're not even really losing money, right? Every offer that we take on, when we launch it, we're not necessarily losing money. We're liquidating majority of it, and then we're making a, let's say, 4, 5, 6x return on the back end with the high ticket ascension model.
Yeah, and for those of you who are normies or maybe don't understand that, it's like right now when you're running,
don't call them that, dude. They're good people.
Right now, you're like, if you're running like a lead funnel, like I come from the last agency event I had to do out with home services. Like a home service world, everyone wants leads. You want as many leads as you can. Well, you got to pay for those leads. Maybe it's $2 to get a lead via your website. Maybe it's $200 to get a lead for your website, but you're paying upfront to get that lead, and then you maybe have the opportunity to close them. So before the sales call even happens, you're already down, let's just say $100 for sake of math. Whereas with low ticket ascension, we're paying maybe, let's just say it's $100 to get that lead, but that lead is then spending 27, 47, 97, 197. They're spending money with us to then be a lead. So we're able to recoup a lot of that sunken cost from a business perspective and from a profit perspective right away with the low ticket ascension offer. And you're still able to sell the same high ticket services on the back end. It's just a different front end and a better financially responsible way, and frankly, a better way to scale to go about doing it.
Well, you think of it this way, it's like, it's not even, I mean, if you're running a webinar funnel, whatever, that's when you're actually generating leads. For us, we're essentially building assets. We're building entire buyers list, right? So now what we can do is we can build a buyers list that we can, first of all, we can scale very aggressively because we're not bleeding cash. And then we can use that buyers list to compound on the back end and essentially ascend all of them. And what's crazy is at this point with our low ticket funnels, typically the way we do it is front end, upsell flow, goes to a book a call model. We have on average 50% of all front end buyers booking calls for high ticket ascension, which is pretty much unheard of. I've done probably 300, 400 funnels I've created in the last 3 years. I've worked with every name. I've worked with the biggest names, influencers, creators, et cetera, et cetera. I haven't seen anybody else or any agency or anybody book 50% of front end buyers into book calls.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. One thing that I think, I mean, people know the name of our company is We Scale Creators, and like the joke is like, oh, what do you guys do? Oh, We Scale Creators. But the name, the reason why we have that name, and part of the reason why these funnels are so successful, I mean, some of our biggest offers are not only self-liquidating on the front end, but they're super profitable on the front end, is because we're working with people who already have audiences. And not everyone is able to have that luxury of working and doing stuff on the paid side for someone who has a big organic following. But for us, that makes a lot of our, guesses on the paid ad side so much easier because the client has data. We know how engaged their following is. There's so much, hundreds and hundreds of hours of content that we're able to use from the organic that people are already familiar with, and then leverage that in what we do on the paid ad side. So for us, we've been able to narrow down a very specific section of the market that, like I said earlier, is making good money. Maybe they're making 50K a month, 100K a month, 200K a month, whatever, but they haven't unlocked the paid ad side of their business. And that's exactly what we come in and do. And those people are, I'm just thinking of our clients right now. It's like they're eternally grateful for what we do because they would have never been able to find that revenue source, at least at the scale that we're operating it at, without working with us.
Well, to take it one step further, it's like if they do, and one of the biggest reasons we work with creators is if you do have an organic, you have a bunch of organic content, you have a brand, it amplifies paid ad side. Like I'd say at least 3x. Like your CPAs are going to be significantly lower. Your CPCs are going to be significantly lower. It's, we're heading into 2026. It's like everybody's going to Google you before they buy your product or service, right? So if you have content, you have a brand, you have high quality stuff out there, it's going to only help on the paid ad side really, really tremendously.
And creator doesn't even necessarily just mean influencer. Like I think a lot of people mix those terms. Like influencers can post a picture of whatever on Instagram and it's going to get, a ton of likes. But there's a lot of people who make really good content. It might not be in that like traditional influencer category, but have an extremely loyal following. They're very good at what they do. A lot of those times, those people are some of the nicest, most genuine people because they're doing it out of love for what they do. They're doing it out of love for the knowledge that they have and what they want to give back to people who had the same struggles that they did or whatever their motivation is. But those people might not have, millions and millions and millions of followers, but they may have a, couple 100,000 followers who are very loyal to them. And that's, again, only people who have seen them from organic and they've never tapped into that paid market. So just want to make that distinction that, influencers, I think is the common term now, but you can be a creator and a good one too, with a great offer and a lot of opportunity, even if you're not a quote unquote influencer. A lot of people don't like to call themselves that.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, we have one of our clients has 40 million plus followers. We have another one that has around 8 million followers, and we have other ones that are like 800K, right? It's like 800K followers. But what they do have is they have a strong, loyal following, and they're an authority in their space, and they have a great product and a great service, right? One of the biggest things that we do is when we come on as partners, right? We're almost investors. We're coming in, we're building out everything, we're spending all of our own capital. We typically want to look at, the merchant statements and see what is the refund rate on this product, what is the chargeback rate on this product. And if we're going to come in and partner, we only want to work with partners that have world-class products. And that's something that we do take pride in at We Scale Creators because it also keeps our team excited. We want to work on offers that we're excited about that are truly great, exceptional products, right?
Yeah, they have to be. And even from like a back end perspective, I mean, people who know info, like a lot, but not a lot, but there's a decent amount of, in people in the info space or products in the info space that are shady at best, to put it nicely. Yeah, it's crazy, dude. AI this, AI that. It's like those aren't really the people that we want to work with. Like Patrick said, I mean, there's a lot of people who have truly great products because they don't want to attach their face and their brand to something that's not good. And we couldn't be more in line with that, especially when we're the ones fronting all the capital. If we get a 30% refund rate and a 10% chargeback rate on any offer, doesn't matter if it's low ticket, mid ticket, high ticket, whatever, that now affects us. So again, it goes back to what we were saying in the beginning of we all have the same motivations. It's to create great products, drive great customers to it, have really, really high quality and, advertising that's in line with their brand. Like we all are
Aligning
playing the
story with
same
their
game.
marketing.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I think scaling the company as fast as we did also has a lot to do with the team, right? And how we structured the team and who we hired, why we hired them. So to be candid, like for me, like, before you and I partnered last year, I was a freelancer, right? And I've always made money online, literally for like 15 years. Like I've had, websites up from 2007. I was in high school, middle school. I was just making money. And there was a point a few years ago where I was just freelancing, and I was one of the highest paid freelancers in the world, like doing 500K a year. Like I was top 0.01% freelancer, doing funnels, doing copy, working with some of the biggest names in the space between creators, influencers, celebrities. And the problem was I couldn't scale, right? I didn't have a team. I didn't have systems. I knew I needed to build them, but I couldn't get myself to do it. And I think it's just the way my brain is wired is I'm a marketer, I'm a creator, and I lack that kind of operator side of my brain. And one of the biggest unlocks for me was, partnering with you as a co-founder, which, by the way, I have so much respect for people that can build companies without a co-founder. I don't know how they could do it. I don't know how you could do all the marketing, all the advertising, all the operations, all the systems. I don't know how people do it. What's also interesting is you look at like Y Combinator, like the top 96% of their most successful companies all have co-founders.
All of them.
So people that don't have them, mad respect. For me as a marketer and as a creator, I needed to partner with you and have a good operator side of the business that could run the team, that could do the systems, where I could focus on the marketing and making money and maximizing every client.
You know what's funny, dude, is I remember like a couple years ago, because we've known each other for a while. I was like, I remember when you would tell me about these offers, and I'm like, dude, you got to get like 5 at a time. You got to run the ads. You got to do this. You got to do that. And you're like, yeah, I know. And
Yeah.
I was like, now in hindsight,
I'll do it.
Yeah, you're like, oh yeah, I'll get a team, I'll get another writer, I'll get a designer or whatever, and it's just like now in hindsight that's hilarious because it's the same premise of you're doing the same premise of what you were doing then, which is your specialty, which is marketing, scaling offers, sick fucking ads, everything that's marketing. And what I do well, and I've done well for the last almost 10 years of being in business, I'm a fucking business guy. I love the game of business. I love the game of scaling companies, people, systems, like truly scaling the business side. And like we go back to, how do people do it solo? I really have no idea because it's almost it's two completely different sides of your brain. And when you're trying to put maximum effort into both at the same time, I mean, maybe you can do it, but the time horizon in which it's going to take to actually achieve mastery or success in both those areas is so much greater than like you focusing on scaling the shit out of the offers and me focusing on making sure the team does everything and we have the systems to handle all the opportunity and clients that we have coming in.
Yeah.
Doing it the way that we have it is so much
it's worked for us. I mean, we've almost built an 8-figure company in 1 year. We're closing out this month with $1 million month. So for us, I mean, it's worked. I've made probably 100 times more money this year than I would have made without having you as a co-founder. And also just in general, building our team the way we built our team, right? It's like one of the biggest core values that we have is A players only, right? And we have been through A players. We've been through non-A players. The biggest things that I've learned really is, number one, A players want to work with the best team in the world. They want to be a part of something that is at the cutting edge, that is at the highest level of operations, of marketing, of skill set, etc. And they also want to be compensated like A players, right? If you pay average, you're going to get average talent. And one of the biggest things that we've done to attract and keep A players that I don't think any other agency does to the level that we do is incentivize our pod with profit share, a very, very significant amount as a whole, to grow the offer. So every single pod member on our team gets a cut of profit from every single offer, right? There aren't, it's not based on projections. It's not based on if it reaches 100K. It's like, no, once the offer launches, you will immediately get a set amount of profit share. Every single team member gets one, and they get it for every single offer.
Yep. And that model is I've thought about this a lot. I think there's a couple reasons why people don't do it, but I think the biggest one, it's like the risk. I mean, if you're a founder, especially if you're a solo founder, but if you're like just getting started and you're at that point where you're making, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50K a month revenue in your business, and it's like, oh, now I need to get great people to scale it even more, because that's the reality. You got to get, a team and talent around you, especially for things that you're not good at. You got to get those people in order to continue scaling further. But then it's like, okay, how am I going to afford to pay them? Like, what
They
if
don't have the
revenue
margins with their model, which is also
yeah,
how we flipped kind of the agency model to no risk, and that's how we have the margins to do it. And we want to incentivize our team with those margins as well. And then the
100%.
client grows 100 times faster because now they got an $80,000 a month pod with every possible role, literally focused exclusively on scaling their offer on a daily basis.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was going to say, especially even in the short term. Like, if we want to look at it like, oh, sure, we're taking a little bit of a hit because we got to pay, stuff out of our bottom line, out of the business's bottom line to the team members. It's like long term, the amount of dividends that will pay with culture, with loyalty amongst the team, with their motivation to go above and beyond. Like, it's almost unquantifiable, the amount of extra revenue that not only this year that we've made from that, but we will continue to make into the future with new clients and even new team members who come in on a very similar model. Like, that amount of increase in the productivity and the revenue and the profit that we've been able to generate is massive. And I don't think that aspect of team building and of leadership is talked about nearly enough. I mean, I could do a whole video series about how I think most founders underpay people and they cheap out on talent and why they do it. Like, I've seen that. I've even done that myself in other agencies. And thankfully, I've learned that lesson of, if you want a really good team and you need people who are excellent at things that you're not good at, you got to fork up the money. But if you do it the right way and you incentivize them the right way and you set up the right culture within the company, you will make so much more money long term. It's not even funny.
Yeah, the partner's going to make a lot more money. You're going to make a lot more money. The A players are going to want to stay on the team because they're being incentivized and are making so much more money than they would make at any other agency. And a lot of this stuff we'll get into much greater nitty gritty detail in other videos. This is very high level. This is our first podcast ever, literally just going over how we went from 0 to 7+ mil in 1 year. And all the nitty gritty crazy stuff, low ticket ascension funnels, how we're getting 50% book call rates. We'll get into all that. But right now, just want to focus on a high level little fireside chat. I do want to talk about the pod itself, right? So in terms of what does the partner get? Why do we structure the pod the way that we did? And so on, right? So it's like, well, essentially for cold traffic acquisition, what you need to have is at the base level, you need a copywriter, right? To build everything. You're going to need a funnel builder, whether that's, there's certain ways to go about that. But if you need a funnel builder, you need a copywriter, you need a video editor. You need a media buyer. You need head of performance marketing is our most recent hire, which is essentially, overarching strategy, making sure owns the throughputs, owns all the creative briefs, making sure everything goes whatever, right? Data, everything. So head of performance marketing, copywriter, media buyer, graphic designer, video editor. What am I forgetting, Nate? They get an AI architect that is building out all the AI SDRs, all the AI systems. We get customer support agents, executive assistants that are helping them with operations on the back end offer too, which, no agency is doing that kind of stuff. Am I missing it?
We have our entire support team that handles all of their support requests, refunds, chargebacks, access issue. I mean, there's like every single area of, like, when it comes to growing an offer, I can confidently say right now that we have an A player or multiple A players for some roles in that spot.
Every single one. And it wasn't like that always.
Every single one. And I think another thing that's like been awesome about our team this year is their willingness to grow. I mean, we joke about the GOAT, who's our funnel builder, Yazir, and this guy, started as a very low level employee for us. And over the last year, I mean, this dude has taken on so much more work, and this goes for multiple other team members on our team as well, but it
really goes for everyone, man.
Goes for everyone. Their drive to do more and be better and be more valuable and make more money. I mean, obviously they want to make more money, but it's like their drive to just be a bigger contributor to the organization is massive. And that's something that goes, I think, very underappreciated from a lot of founders, but we've seen that with a ton of different team members, especially even the new ones too. Like, over the course of this year, they want to get better. They want to do more. They want to be more valuable. They want to understand other areas of the business that maybe they're not directly involved in, because it's going to help them do better and it's going to help the business as a whole make more money. Like we explained earlier, if the business makes more money, they make more money too.
Yeah. Yeah. Which also allows us to attract talent that other agencies simply can't attract. They don't have the margin to do it. They're just not willing to pay it. Right. Whereas we're offering high salaries plus all the profit share. Our team is operating like, they're owning their lane. They're actually fully owning their lane, and they're focusing on optimizing every single thing in that lane. If you're focusing on copy, you're focusing on split testing every single week, new headlines, different ad variants. And even on the ad side, I mean, I've worked with so many agencies. They launch 5, 10, 20 ads a week. We launch typically 30 plus ads a week between image and video side. We've had campaigns or in partners with over 600 active ads at one time. Like, there's no agency doing that. But the reason we're able to do that is because we have control over everything, right? We're spending our own money. We're able to build it on our timelines, and we're able to move so much faster and scale so much faster and test so much faster.
Yep, 100%. And one thing that I think also has played a huge role in our success to do, $7.4 million from scratch this year is like the culture that we have within the team. Like, a lot, I mean, even me and you, like, we've known each other for how many years at this point? A while. And like, we were friends before business, and then we started business with nothing. And then here we are now. And it's like that, a lot of people don't like, hiring friends necessarily or working with friends. And I think that
the risky move
goes for any company, but it's like, I think the best companies in the world take agencies out of it. Like, eventually with the right people around you, everyone will grow to become close, whether that means that they, just are talking outside of work, or they literally go and hang out outside of work, get together if they're local, fly in, like whatever. I think that is very underrated in business. And I think our team, we've stressed a ton this entire year. Like, what can we be doing better for culture? Like, how can we get you guys more involved? What can we tell you about? How can we be more transparent about where we're going, what our goals are, stuff like that? And that has a huge ripple effect amongst the team, and especially for new people who come in and maybe they were like you and they were freelancing, or maybe they worked for a shitty agency before and they're just not used to that. And then they get in and they're like, whoa, this is how you guys do things? Like, this is sick. This is fun. And it's like, it's a whole different mindset and like reframe on like what work is and how they can excel at what they do. And I think that's been huge for us to be able to do hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of ads a month across all of our offers. Like, if the team didn't care and they weren't like, oh, I don't want to let this guy down, or I don't want to let her down, because, if they didn't have that level of deeper connection, I don't think we'd be able to do what we do. And that's only getting better every single day across the entire company.
Yeah, it's a good point too. It's like, there's a lot of people that say don't partner with friends, and there's a lot of validity to that, right? It's like, well, what has made our relationship work? Because we were friends for a few years before this, and then we also have a lot of team members that are good friends of ours right now. So to me, it's like, number one, you and I's relationship is built on respect, right? Everything is based on truth. There's no bullshitting each other. If you ever work with a friend, the fastest way to create animosity is don't be real with them, especially in a business setting, right? You got to take your friendship hat off in a business setting, and it's business. And what you got to do is everything is about the truth, right? And not holding back. Like, it really comes down to two things. It comes down to each of you getting every fucking thing that you need to get done, and then being honest with each other. And that's really it. The problem arises if you hire a friend or you partner with a friend and they're not doing what they need to do. They're not operating at the level that you're operating at, right? And sometimes there's a yin and yang there. Sometimes maybe I'll operate 1 week a little bit higher, and 1 week you'll operate a little bit higher. But it's always there. We're almost in a way competing. We're always working hard. We're getting what we need to get done, and we're honest with each other. And that's a relationship that's built on respect, which is the only way you can make it work. And it's high risk and it's high reward, because you could essentially create issues with friends, or you could have a company that you freaking love, a culture that you absolutely love, and have more fun doing it.
And I think that, like, just the saying high risk, high reward is like what we've done.
That's the entire model.
Since the beginning of We Scale Careers, everything that we do is high risk, high reward. Like, and I don't know, there's something, it's hard to explain, but like, that's just something that I think you and I like love to do. Like,
yeah,
we want to put it out there and be like, fuck it. I don't know if this is going to work, but it might. And if it does, it's going to be fucking sick. Like, that's just the game. And you got to do that sometimes.
That is the game. you have to take big swings and you have to take big risks. And that's literally how we went. Like I mean, what agencies go from 0 to 7 mil plus in 1 year? It's like 0.01% probably, right? And the only reason we've done it is exclusively because of the risks we've taken. And we've taken some really big risks, like floating 400K in ad spend on our first ever partner with and I'll kind of dive into it without revealing too much, but with challenge funnels, you're not recouping your money, right? It's like you're generating hundreds of thousands of leads. And this was our first partner ever, and we sunk in 400 grand into it. And that was our first big risk. We ended up doing a $1.6 million launch in 10 days from that. And that was the birth of We Scale Creators. And after that, we had momentum. We got more clients, and now we're, crushing $1 million a month this month, and things are working. But it all comes down to taking big risks. And every partner we take on, we just took another big risk recently, and that one actually didn't end up working out very well.
Sure.
But it's chalk it up to the game. It's like the risks, they're asymmetric, right? The ones that you take risks on and you lose, if you're smart about it, you're not going to lose too much. And the ones that you win, you're going to make $1 million plus.
It's really, and that first client story deserves a podcast or a story in and of itself, because that was a crazy time. But like it just comes down to taking calculated risk. It's like, what with that partner, like the one that worked or the one that didn't, or even like starting this business, it's like, what's the worst that can happen? Well, the worst that can happen is it doesn't work. And then it's like, all right, cool.
You lose a little bit of money.
Yeah, we lose a little bit of money, but we're smart. We can make it back. But it's like, what's the upside? And like, I can't remember who I heard say this, but it was so long ago. But it's like, if you're comfortable with the worst case scenario, if you understand what that worst case scenario would be, and you're like, you know what, that would suck, but I'm all right with it if it happens. It's not ideal, but if it does happen, I'm going to be good. That's a bet you should always fucking take, because then you're okay with the downside. And then whatever that upside is, especially if it's massive, that's the thing that more times than not, especially if it's a calculated risk, you're going to get. And I think that's a thing a lot of people are nervous to do, or they just don't have enough trust in themselves, or maybe they're just not comfortable with what that worst case scenario is. But when we take bets in business and they don't work out, it's like, all right, well, we lost a little bit of money. We lost some time. Obviously, it wasn't great, but we're immediately moving on to the next thing. What's the next opportunity we can take? What's the next partner we can do? How can we maximize, the revenue that we're making with this client to make up for it? Like, we just continue to go, all right, cool. What do we learn? Move on to the next thing, and not dwell on either the successes too long or the failures for too long.
Yeah, dude. I mean, life happens outside your comfort zone, right? All the best things happen outside your comfort zone. If you stay in your comfort zone, you're not taking risks, you're going to keep getting the same results you're getting, right? You have to be willing to go all in and step outside of your comfort zone, and that's where the magic happens. That's where life truly rewards you.
100%. And we've done that, and it's paid off well this year, and I'm looking forward to, and we're going to continue to do these, but I'm looking forward to updating and seeing where things go in 2026. I'm doing an end of year 2026 one. It'll be like, all right, here's the fucking gambles that we took this year, and here's the ones that paid off massively. And now we did 20 million, 30 million, whatever that number is. Like, we're going to continue to do that, because I think it's just who we are. And we want to surround ourselves with people who, inside of our team, who maybe aren't, the entrepreneurs who are going to take the financial risk, but they're also comfortable with too. They understand that, all right, everyone here wants to make a lot of money. We want to make our partners a lot of money. Like, these are the things that we have to do in order to test that out. And if they're cool with it, and they're just as bought in to that vision that we have for an individual partner or for the company as a whole, I mean, you can't fucking lose. You really can't lose.
Yeah, there's so much more we could talk about. Like, I want to talk about like maximizing every partner, whatnot, and so forth. I feel like there's so much we could talk about. This is our first podcast. One thing that I kind of want to end it off with, unless you have more ideas, is literally just the concept. It's our core principle, and it's who can compete, right? And to me, it's like genuinely nobody can compete with us. The reason we have all these things, we have the model, we have the skill set, we have the team, but it all stems really from the mental game, the internal game, right? And it's like the one thing that nobody can compete with us on is having, the new term for it is agency, right? It's like having hardcore agency, essentially work ethic, right? We have two things. It's hunger and it's the work ethic. And I don't think anybody has that over us. And that's really why where we're at right now is we don't fucking stop. We want it more than anybody else, and we're willing to outwork absolutely anybody to get it. And that's something that is the moat. The true moat is love of the game. That is the ultimate moat.
I was just gonna say that it's like it's the love of what you do. Truly, it's like we'll work as much as we need to, and then some. And it's like what keeps you going. This obviously the answer is slightly different for each of us, but in general, it's like it's the love of it's the love of the game. It's the love of the potential gamble that you can take to get the big thing that you want. It's like just the fact that that opportunity is even somewhat out there. It's like that in and of itself makes it worth it, that potential. And even when we're hiring people, like we talked about our team a lot in this, but it's like even them, like they gotta love what they do. They gotta love the game. They gotta understand that we will go above and beyond. And that doesn't mean they need to work 100 hours a week, but it means that if they're gonna do work, they got to put their best thing out there. They got to go the extra mile. Like we have all the core values, which we'll probably dive into at some point in the future, because I think they would be valuable. But to bring it back to who can compete with us, it's like when you truly believe that no one can compete with you in your business, when you integrate
I
that
wouldn't even say believe. I would say no.
yeah, when you know that, when it is no longer, I mean, Hormozy, it's like you question all the beliefs except for the ones that you truly believe and those you don't think to question or whatever the quote is. It's like we don't even question it. It's just a matter of fact, and that seeps into every single thing that we do on a daily basis. And our team can feel that energy. Our partners can feel that energy. That like we're not fucking around. Like we're taking this as serious as we possibly can, and that stuff shows. And that energy is reinforced across every single person, partner, client, whoever that comes into contact with us. You know, we want to make sure that they can feel that love that we have for what we do, and it shows.
And love absolutely shows in your work. Love shows in your results. It shows in the quality of your work. It shows in everything, right? Every great thing was built with unbelievable amounts of love. And even the same with our company, to take it from where we took it in 1 year and where we're gonna take it, because we haven't even really fucking got started yet, is gonna be a reflection of how much love we put in. Even if that love caused a lot of damn pain, and it does, because it's not easy, but it's love of the game. There's nothing else I'd rather do. It gives me the most fulfillment out of anything else. And that's why we're at where we're at for both. I mean, I would say for both of us.
100%. I mean, anything that's worth achieving is going to be painful. It is. Anything that's worth it. Doesn't matter what area of your life that you're talking about. It's all going to, there's going to involve some pain. It's going to involve some sacrifice, but the question is just how bad do you want it? And when you operate from that, there's no doubt that you'll get it in the end. Yeah. I mean, no one can compete at the end of the day.
Love it. How do you think this went? First podcast?
I think it went good. We're on the content grind. You know, We Scale Creators 2026. We got to start talking about this shit, dude, because like we see it every day, and I think we take a lot of it for granted. I mean, if we wanted to talk about every like month of this year and all the shit that happened, this would be a 3-hour long, 5-hour long podcast. But I'm excited to just keep doing this and putting it out there. I think it's nice for us too to be able to like reflect on what's been going on and the wins that we've had and how good things are, and even some of the things that need to be improved upon, which we'll probably end up talking about at some point in the future. Like, this is fun. We got to put it out there and hope people find it, somewhat valuable or entertaining or both.
Yeah.
As we continue to do it.
Yeah. First one, we'll keep doing these. Really, for me, it's just a matter of, again, we're not here to be gurus. We're not here to teach you anything. We're running an actual company. We're running an actual agency. We're in the trenches. We're generating millions and millions and millions of dollars, and we're documenting what is working for us. We're not telling you to do anything. This is what's working for us. If you get any value out of it, that's amazing. If you do, let us know. It would be wonderful.
Yeah. And feel free to share this. Feel free to engage, ask us questions, DM us. Like we're open. Like, and even a potential client who could be a good fit, a team member who's like, man, or even yourself, you're like, man, I'd love to like work with you guys or be involved in some way. Like, we're always open to that, especially as we continue growing. We need amazing people. We want amazing connections, and it's 2026. Content is the way to do it, and we're going to be riding that storm all year. So thanks for listening.
Thanks for watching.